Hey guys, welcome back to Lonnie's Garage. We're going to start another video today covering the E-fan harness, how to make an E-fan harness for your LS swap. My current project is an 84 Chevy C10. So I'll spin you around here. We'll get right into it. I'm going to show you the diagram, and also I'll be making the harness, and I'll try to give you as much detail as possible. First off, my vehicle came with a clutch fan. It did not have electric fans on it. I'm using, I believe it's a 93 through 97 F-body Camaro fans. I've got dual fans. They'll be set up on relays. I've already had my computer, which you have to, if you have a clutch fan, you have to have your PCM, the computer, whatever you want to call it. You have to have it programmed to have the fans turn on at a certain temperature and turn off at a certain temperature. Both of my fans will kick on a low speed, and then they'll kick on higher for high speed if the temperature gets up too high. Later on, I will be adding another relay to kick the fans, or one fan on when I turn my AC on. So one fan will also be designated for that. But let me spin you around here and I'll show you the harness diagram that I'm going to be using. A gentleman on Facebook helped me out with this diagram. I've already done my wiring harness for my LS swap for my motor. I've already got 2 wires for the fans. So let me spin you around here and we'll get to the diagram. Alright, so here's the fans I'm using. I've made my own fan shroud. I have a video covered on how I've done that. Here's the F-body fans. I've just taken them out of, I've got my little junk pile back here where I have remodeled my shop. But that's the original housing for the F-body fans. Like I said, they come off of a Camaro. I've got my heat shrink for my wires that I'll be using. I've got 12 gauge wire that I will also be using to make the harness. I've got a fuse box. I'm not going to tie this into the wiring harness for the motor, the fuse box. So this fan system will have its own fuse box. I've got my relays. They are 40 amp relays. I've got 3 of them for right now. Later on, when I do decide to add my AC relay, I'll add another one in line. I've got my soldering gun. I've also got various different connecting for the wires. Here is the wiring diagram that I will be using. I'll put a link to in the description to a picture of this, and on this right here, I'll go ahead and write out what wire needs to go to what pin. It'll be detailed off to the side. So without further ado, these are my stock plugs that go to the F-body fans. So we will be utilizing those. It's 4 wires. You have a ground, a hot. Your PCM sends a ground signal to the relay. So that's what's going to trigger it. It is not a hot wire that's coming from the PCM. Mine is it's a 99 to 02 style PCM, so it's a 5.3. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and add some length to each wire here. I'll undo it here because I'm going to use different kind of wire loom. It'll be a braided wire loom. So let me get my wire length and we'll come back with some soldering. Alright guys, we're just plugging away here. I've got my little bit of snip of wire right here ready. I just got done soldering this. Here in a minute I'll slide my heat shrink over it and cover it all up just like I have these ones here. What I've done is I've got them all clasped together. For these two wires here that come down here, this is the 87 pin, this is 87A. I tied the 87 wire from this relay to the 87A wire, the pin, from this relay to the 87 wire on this relay, and have my hot from my second fan number 2, which is over here. As you can see, I've got both of those. I've got my fan coming down and got it tied into these two relay wires. I've just now hooked up my fan to my 87 pin on the relay number 1, which is the blue wire right here. That's my hot wire. I also just ran my number 30 pin, which is the power going to my relay. That will send power up into it. It'll have a 30 amp fuse over here. That's the one I just got done soldering. So what I'm fixing to do is the same thing over to the relay for fan number 2. I'll go ahead and solder my wire together, which is the yellow wire here for the second relay, which is the middle one. I'll run this little snip of wire here that I've already got cut to it, solder it, put my heat shrink on it, and then they'll go to this little fuse box here. It has great heavy wire. It's all 12 gauge, and then the hot wire that's feeding this is a lot thicker than that. I'll make a cover that goes across this that covers all this up, because let's face it, these are fans, not headlights and stuff like that. I've got 2 of these, but I'm only using one. Let me see if I can get it off of here. There we go. It's just like that right there. Anyhow, I'll make a sticker that'll cover over this, and it'll label what I plan on using it. Right now I'm only using 3 fuse switches out of this whole thing. But yeah, anyhow, let me get this wire soldered on here and get the heat shrink on it, and we will come right back. Alright guys, what I've got now, I've got the fan 1 and fan 2 wired up to the fuse block. I've got it soldered and heat shrinked. What I'm working on now is connecting all 3 relays together, the 86 pins. They're all also going to run to a 10 amp fuse, which will be the third relay, or third switch down on the breaker block, or on the fuse block rather, I'm sorry. It'll tie into this yellow wire right here. I've already got all 3 of them wired together, soldered. Now what I'll do is I'll cut my 12 gauge hot wire to length and solder it onto this end. And I'll tape the fans and these together. It'll get some wire loom on it. And then I'm going to start running my ground wires, connecting it over here to the third relay, which is all the way over here, the one without the relay sticking on it right now. And then that'll be on the number 30 pin, which will be fan 1 ground wire goes to the third relay on pin number 30 on the relay. Fan number 2, you have to have a body ground, a good ground. It'll split off and it'll come down to the third relay 87 pin. So let me get this done, and we will come back. Alright guys, here we go. It is complete minus the wire loom. As you can see, I've got the fans plugged in. This will be fan number 2. This is fan number 1. I've got it. I'm going to walk you through it. There's my relay system. There's my fuse block. Here's how it works. You have a hot wire coming down through here. It's going to power this fuse block, which is right here. That'll hook straight to my battery. Then you're going to have, I'm going to end up cutting this off, and I'll put an inline fuse. That way it'll blow before it blows my, or does anything to my fuse block. Anyhow, this will go to the battery. You have your fan hot wires that's coming from your relays. They're going to come from the fuse block, which will be, let me get my wire diagram here and I'll walk you through this. It'll be pin 30 on the first and second relay. That'll be for fan 1, fan 2. It'll go to a 30-amp fuse along through here, both of those, into right here. I've only got 25, but I'm fixing to put 30 in. I've got to go buy some. 25 for, this is your first fan, second fan. And then in junction, all of your relays are wired together on pin number 86 here, 86 here, 86 here. They're all coming together they're wired together, which is the watt wire. It's all gone to one wire, and it comes down to this middle or the bottom fuse right here, which is a 10 amp. Okay. Your fan 1 hot wire is going to come down and go into the fan 1 relay, which is over here. That's going to go to the 87 pin. Fan 2 is going to come over, go to the relay that is the first, or the middle one, and the last. It'll junction off the 87 from your middle relay to the 87A in your last relay. The ground wire for the fan number 1 will come all the way down to your last relay over here. That's going to go to pin number 30. Okay, then your fan number 2 relay is going to go, or ground, I'm sorry, is going to come out of your fan, come all the way over to the last relay to pin number 87, and it's also going to tie in and have a body ground, which is right here. Your PCM is going to have wires coming out of it. In my case, for fan number 2, it is going to be your red pin PCM plug. That is going to be the pin number 33. All right, it's going to come up and go to your middle and your last relay. It will be an 85 pin, and it kicks off over to your last relay to an 85 pin. Your fan number 1 will come out and go from PCM pin number 42 in your blue PCM plug. It'll come up and go to the first relay to 85 pin. That is how you're going to wire it up. You'll have on your first and second relay, right here in the middle, this one and this one, your 87A on both of those will not be used. So I've just cut those, and I'm going to tape the ends of them, and then I'm going to put my wire loom on every bit of this. That is how you wire your fan, your E-fan harness. We'll come back after we get the loom on it. All right, folks, here we go. I've got some holes drilled in my fan shroud now. This is going to hold my loom still. This will be the route that it takes through here. My wires, I mean. I've got the wire loom on there. What I like to use is this mesh wire loom. Sometimes it's a little bit of a headache to use, but I really like it. I think it cleans up the look. I've got it all done up and ready to just hook up to the truck. I'll show you my wires out here on mine that are coming out of my PCM. When I done my harness, I labeled my my 2 wires. I've got fan 1 and fan 2. That's the wires that will get plugged up to the relays. I put those kind of ends on them, the quick connects. That way, if I ever want to take the loom or the wire harness off, I can just unplug it and roll those wires up. But yeah, I will not be able to try them out today, unfortunately, because I've been trying to drive my truck around a little bit with the fan on it, and it had a real bad miss, so I had to pull the plugs out, plug wires off, and realized one of the spark plugs were completely cracked. I did, however, get the the Intellitronics digital gauges to work right. So yeah, that's going to conclude our video over the fan shroud harness, the E-fan harness for the LS swap. What I'll do now is unplug the harness from the fans, take the fans off. I'm going to sand this down and I'm going to paint it black. I don't want my fan shroud to be the aluminum color. So until next time, everybody, thank you for watching. If the video has helped you out in any way, please feel free to like the video, share it with others so they can see it. Comment on my videos, and if you're not subscribed, go ahead and please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Until next time, thank you and God bless.